The decline of the KFC business. What happened? Remember when KFC was the king of fried chicken? When its Colonel Sanders mascot was a cultural icon? And his chicken was so good people would lick their fingers clean? But those days are long gone. Today, KFC is struggling to stay afloat, as it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. What in the world happened? In this video, we're going to dig deep and get to the bottom of the KFC mystery, tracing its journey from top dog to a bit of a question mark. We'll spill the beans on how KFC's secret recipe once had everyone singing its praises and reveal the contenders who gave the Colonel a run for his money. So stick around until the end for the juicy secrets in between and hit that subscribe button. In the heart of Kentucky, a culinary legend was born. It was 1952, and a humble gas station owner named Colonel Harlan Sanders decided to share his secret recipe with the world. Little did he know, he was about to kickstart a fried chicken revolution known as KFC, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, and become a global fast food sensation. We'll discuss decline later in this video. First, let's get into who the Colonel was and how he started KFC. Colonel Sanders and initial struggles. Harlan Sanders was born in 1890 and raised on a farm in Henryville, Indiana. He didn't have life served up to him on a silver platter. At the tender age of 5, Harlan's daddy passed on, leaving his mama to work her fingers to the bone at a canning plant, just to make ends meet. As the eldest of the brood, Harlan, barely out of diapers, found himself looking after his 2 siblings. And when he hit 7, his mama passed on the kitchen secrets, teaching him how to rustle up grub that can make a coyote howl. At the age of 13, Harlan left his family home and tried various professions, including working on the railroad and selling insurance, with varying degrees of success. In 1930, his journey led him to take over a Shell filling station on the U.S. Route 25. The turning point came in 1934 when Harlan assumed the lease of a pure oil filling station across the road, offering better visibility to passing motorists. It was here that he decided to introduce fried chicken to his menu. Harlan attended an 8-week restaurant management course at the Cornell University School of Hotel Administration to enhance his culinary skills. By 1936, his restaurant had become successful enough to earn him the honorary title of Kentucky Colonel from the governor Ruby Laffoon. In 1937, Harlan expanded his restaurant to accommodate 140 seats, and in 1940, he purchased a nearby motel, the Sanders Court and Cafe, in July 1940. Harlan unveiled his famous original recipe, a blend of 11 herbs and spices. However, he never publicly revealed the complete recipe, acknowledging only the use of salt and pepper and stating that the remaining ingredients were commonplace. A boost in KFC sales. In 1955, something important happened for KFC. Plans were made for a new road, Interstate 75. But it would go around Corbin, where Colonel Sanders' restaurant was. So the Colonel decided to sell his restaurant and travel across the United States. He wanted to tell other restaurant owners about his tasty chicken idea. Here's how it worked. If restaurant owners wanted to join the KFC family, they had to pay a fee for each chicken they sold. At first, it was 4 cents, and later, it became 5 cents. In exchange, they got Colonel Sanders' secret recipe, his way of cooking, and the right to use his name and picture in their advertisements. It was a recipe for success. 1952. Colonel Sanders started sharing his chicken recipe with Pete Harmon in Utah. That's when the name Kentucky Fried Chicken was born, thanks to the sign painter named Rodney L. Anderson. This name made the Colonel's chicken stand out from regular Southern fried chicken. Herman's restaurant sales increased primarily because of the taste of the fried chicken. People in Utah thought it was special to get chicken from Kentucky, and it reminded them of Southern hospitality. In 1957, Harmon had a clever idea. He put 11 chicken pieces, 5 rolls, and gravy in a cardboard bucket, making a whole meal for $3.50, which is about $30 today. It all started when a Denver restaurant owner had too many cardboard buckets, and the Colonel asked for help. By 1963, they had grown from around 200 franchised restaurants in 1960 to over 600, becoming the largest fast food chain in the USA, KFC's new owner. In 1963, Colonel Sanders met John Y. Brown, Jr., a Kentucky encyclopedia salesman eager to join the KFC family. However, with no apparent heir among his relatives, Colonel Sanders decided to sell the company instead. With some financial help from Jack C. Macy, Pete Harmon, Lee Cummings, and Harlan Adams, Brown's made it happen in 1964 for $2 million, about $15 million today. The Colonel secured a lifetime salary and remained the company's quality controller and trademark. Later, a dispute arose that we will disclose shortly in this video. Brown and Macy streamlined the company, standardizing operations. They adopted Pete Harmon's successful takeout model nationwide, with franchisees focusing solely on KFC products. The restaurants got a fresh look with distinctive red and white stripes and unique cupolas. The Colonel maintained significant influence over the executives and franchisees, despite selling the company. When the company moved to Tennessee, he protested, saying, "This ain't no Tennessee fried chicken." Disputes arose when KFC expanded to Canada. The Colonel believed he had exclusive rights there, using his stock holdings to block the company from going public until they resolved the issue. Ultimately, they agreed to his exclusive rights, and the company went public in 1966. KFC brought out its 600 franchisees and took control in 1966. The company's stock soared, leading to its listing on the New York Stock Exchange in 1969. Brown tried diversifying the brand with Kentucky roast beef restaurants and Colonel Sanders Inns, but these ventures flopped. KFC also ventured into partnerships, such as H. Salt Esquire Fish and Chips, which saw some success before being devastated in 1980. In 1970, Massey stepped down and Brown became chairman. By 1970, KFC had expanded to 3,000 outlets in 48 countries. However, rapid and sometimes chaotic expansion led to operational issues, with the company reporting its first ever loss in 1971. Ownership sold again, and journey towards decline started. In 1971, John Y. Brown decided to pass the KFC torch. He sold the company to Hugh Blaine, a Connecticut-based food and drinks corporation, for a whopping $285 million, which would be around $2.14 billion today. Brown pocketed around $35 million from the deal, and many believed that this takeover saved KFC from a potential disaster. Around this time, KFC faced competition from Church's Chicken, which was offering indoor seating and its own crispy chicken. KFC introduced its extra crispy chicken in 1972 to compete, but the introduction of barbecue spare ribs in 1973 brought trouble. There was a pork shortage, prices skyrocketed, and customers weren't too thrilled. When the product was withdrawn, KFC realized its fried chicken sales were taking a hit. Colonel Sanders' criticism. Colonel Sanders wasn't exactly thrilled by how things were going. He regretted selling the company and didn't shy away from criticizing its food quality. He even described the gravy as horrible and said, "My God, that gravy is horrible. They buy tap water for 15 to 20 cents a 1,000 gallons, then mix it with flour and starch and end up with pure wallpaper paste. And another thing, that new crispy recipe is nothing but a damn fried dough ball stuck on some chicken." His outburst led to a failed attempt by a KFC franchise in Bowling Green, Kentucky, to sue Sanders for libel. In 1973, Hugh Blaine tried to sue Sanders for opening a restaurant in Shelbyville, Kentucky, called Claudia Sanders, the Colonel's Lady Dinner House. Sanders countered by suing Hugh Blaine for a whopping $122 million, about $570 million today, over the alleged misuse of his image and hindering his ability to franchise restaurants. Hugh Blaine, although a packaged food and drinks corporation, had no experience running fast food outlets. They attempted overseas expansion, but it didn't go as planned, leading to exits from markets like Hong Kong in 1975. Sanders criticized Hugh Blaine publicly, calling their product downright embarrassing. By 1978, the 800 company-owned stores were losing money. We will discuss the reason in detail later in this video. First, let's talk about this little savior of the company at that time. A mild savior. In 1977, Michael A. Miles took the reins and saved the company by going back to the basics. He refurbished stores, introduced indoor seating and drive-through windows, and implemented electronic tills to track everything efficiently. KFC expanded globally in the 1970s and 80s, reaching countries like Japan, Australia, and the UK. Miles also listened to Sanders' advice, leading to 30 consecutive months of pre-store sales increases by 1980. Sadly, Colonel Sanders passed away in 1980 at the age of 90. Post-Sanders era. By 1983, there were a whopping 5,800 KFC outlets across 55 countries. General Cinema Corporation acquired 18% of Hugh Blaine, prompting them to seek help from R.J. Reynolds, the tobacco giant, to avoid a hostile takeover. In 1983, Michael Miles stepped down as KFC's chairman to become Kraft Foods CEO, and Richard Mayer took over. The battle intensified with the introduction of Chicken McNuggets at McDonald's in 1983. KFC responded with its version, Kentucky Nuggets, in 1985. Reynolds invested $168 million into capital expansion at KFC in 1984. In July 1986, PepsiCo bought KFC from Reynolds for $850 million, which would be about $1.8 billion today. Back then, PepsiCo was into soft drinks and snacks and owned Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. Embarrassing changes in brand. The issues started with the brand when he died, according to Hockman. He compared the post-Sanders era KFC to Apple after Steve Jobs passed away. People think he was just our spokesman, and some people don't even know he's real. But he's the founder of our values and our recipe. Following Sanders' passing, KFC made a significant shift. They decided to move away from the Colonel and the iconic red and white stripes in their marketing. Instead, they focused on featuring young customers, and even introduced a cartoon Colonel in the 1990s, which today's executives consider an embarrassing misstep. In 1991, the chain altered its name from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC to emphasize non-fried products, but this change sparked rumors about genetically modified chicken. The food quality continued to drop. The taste of those famous 11 herbs and spices has taken a hit, leaving behind an overload in saltiness. And if they're still using that unique spice mix, it's just a tiny sprinkle compared to the salt. The gravy turned bitter, and the biscuits became more like dense dough balls. But it's not just us, but everyone is noticing the change. Some people believe the switch from lard to trans fat-free oil in 2007 played a part. However, the company insisted that the new soybean-based oil would keep the fried chicken's flavor intact. But guess what? It didn't live up to the promise. KFC's wait time woes. Back in 2016, a QSR magazine study clocked the average wait time at KFC's drive-thru at 203.91 seconds. Not too shabby, especially when compared to Chick-fil-A's 4 minutes and 17 seconds. But fast forward to 2023, and CNN Business dropped a bombshell. The wait time at KFC's drive-thru had ballooned to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. That's another good reason for the decline of KFC, as none of us like waiting, struggling to keep up with latest trends. In recent years, the fast food world has seen some significant changes. Many restaurants have offered healthier food options, like salads and grilled chicken, to make customers happy, but Kentucky Fried Chicken hasn't joined the trend. They still primarily serve their famous fried chicken and sides, making some people who care about eating healthy not choose KFC. Another big deal in fast food is being more eco-friendly and treating animals better. Some places are trying to do that, but KFC got into trouble before because of how they treated chickens, and some people didn't like that. KFC hasn't been keeping up with what younger people want to eat. They like trying new and different things, but KFC has stuck to its old menu. Other fast food places that have changed with the times have become good at competing with KFC. Even though the whole fast food world is changing, KFC has slowly changed. It has made it challenging for them to keep customers happy and has hurt their reputation. Inaccurate order delivery. Now, think you're super hungry and grab some fast food from KFC, but when you get home, you discover they messed up your order. Frustrating, right? Well, in 2016, KFC got it right only 88.6% of the time at the drive-thru. Worse than most top burger places. By 2019, their accuracy had plummeted to just 66.1%. That's like getting a failing grade in school. You only wanted a simple meal in a box, chicken, biscuit, and side. In 2021, KFC stepped up, earning an A with 92.3% accuracy. Yet, A 2022 study showed they slipped back to a B- at 82.6%. Mess up too many meals, and customers might not come back. That's how the fried chicken crumbles. And that's how KFC is keeping on declining day by day. If you agree with what we have told you in this video, give it a thumbs up, and if not, then share your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe. See you in the upcoming video.